Today's video, I'm going to talk about the Aetherion Max ultra short throw projector. And my goal with this is to help out people who are looking at a projector. Maybe you're considering getting one as a TV replacement, which I've been using a projector as a TV replacement for the past 9 months. And I was surprised that you don't have to have a home theater to really take advantage of one. And I'll get into all the details on what you need, how it works, because I know some folks out there who are getting their first projector are concerned about it being complicated, about being dim, whether it is a good fit as a TV replacement. This thing can go up to 200 inches. I don't know many TVs that do 200 inches. Maybe you guys do. Let us know in the comment section. But I also want to share limitations and things you should consider because a projector might not be a great fit for everyone. This video is sponsored by AWOL Vision. They did send this over for me to check out. But don't worry, I'm going to give you the full picture on this thing because that's important. Now, this is their first new projector in 3 years. It's their flagship version, which it's up for pre-order now. And if you take advantage of the pre-order, the price is a huge discount on it, to the point that I don't know how many 100-inch, let alone 200-inch TVs you're going to get at this price point. So check it out using those links. Now, if you're trying to decide what kind of projector to go with or the different types, there is an ultra short throw like this one. And with an ultra short throw, the projector is basically right up on the screen. Mine is projecting from 15 inches away. The actual unit from the screen itself is about 7 inches away. So you don't have to worry about anybody walking through the projector. You don't have to worry about hanging it. You just get the right piece of furniture, you put it on it. Or like in my case, I have it on the floor and I'm using one of their floor rising screens, which with that, if you do want to have a regular TV, you could set this up so that you bring the screen up when you want the movie theater experience. You want to watch a game, you want to watch a movie, play some games on it. You can use a floor rising screen, and then when you want to go back to the regular TV, you just lower it and it's all done. Now, the other type of projector you have out there is a short throw projector, which those are meant to be mounted to a ceiling or put on a shelf. That's where it can get a little trickier. That's why I have one mounted on the ceiling, and you got to get signal to it, power, all that. So having this, an ultra short throw, is nice and easier. Now there are long throw projectors too, which it's in the name. It's going to be long distance away. Now let's talk about how this can fit into real life situation. You can use it as a TV replacement. If you get a screen and you get a projector, it's a little easier to set up than getting a 100-inch TV mounted on the wall. That's a big TV to move around. But with this, you got the choice. Do you want it to be a TV replacement, which with the right screen, like I've been using, I've watched TV during the day with light coming in the windows, and it is fine. If you get the floor rising screen, it opens up more options. And they do have some cool furniture out there where you can mount the screen in it, and you can have the projector slide out when it's in use, and then tuck away, screen go down, and you got your regular TV on the wall. And when it comes to screens, they matter a lot, especially if you have a room with windows or lights on it. Now here's a little look at the projector just shining on a wall. And the image looks good, but with the light in the room, it's going to get washed out. And that would be kind of the case if you had just a plain white screen, which works fine if you're setting up a movie theater that's dark and all that. But now, if you look at this screen rising up, you see how much brighter it gets. And the reason why is it is an ALR screen, which is ambient light rejecting. And what that does is it rejects the light coming from the side and from the top. So instead, the light coming up from the projector bounces up, and it's because of the texture in the screen that does all that. So if you do have windows or lights that you want on, like you could see here, light coming in through the window, and it's still plenty bright. You'll see some of the limitations if it's a very dark scene. If that were the case where it's a darker movie and all that, even if you're watching a regular TV, you'd probably want to turn the lights off. Me, I just shut the curtains, I can leave the other lights on, and it's plenty bright. So that is something to think about when it comes to a projector and buying a screen, is how much light are you going to have in the room? Because light is the enemy of a projector. Projector shining out light and light coming in the room, the two of them are competing with each other. So definitely think about your setup and what kind of screen to get with it, because with the right screen, it really is a good TV replacement. My impressions in using this for quite a while is that it is bright. The thing is 3,300 lumens, and the other projector I was using was an ultra short throw, which was 3,000 lumens. And that's the output coming out of the projector. But by the time you think about the distance that light is traveling versus being right next to the screen, this image has been really bright. Overall, I've been happy with the image quality. One of the things I noticed when I had both my previous projector on one screen and this projector on another one is the sharpness. It looks sharper than what I've seen before. And my wife, actually, in looking at both projectors, was like, wow, that looks really sharp. And she never notices any of this stuff. So I was impressed that she noticed it. Now, a feature that also helps with image quality is there's an anti-rainbow effect. And what happens, and this is common across all different projectors, is that when there's high contrast scenes or there's quick action or movement in a scene, you might see some rainbow artifacting in there. And you might see flashes or just, it looks a little rainbowy. This doesn't do that, which is nice to see. So if you are sensitive to that kind of stuff, and it not only works with just regular 2D media, it works with 3D also. So this projector does 3D content if you're interested in that, and you get no rainbow effect with it on top of that. Now, one of the things that really stood out to me is the white out of it. When there's white text or there's white in an image, it looks a lot more accurate and it looks truer. Where compared to some other projectors in my previous one, the white leans a little pink, where this definitely looks true white. Another thing that helps is it also has enhanced black levels. It analyzes the scenes, and when it's darker and there's black in it, it's able to dial that back so it doesn't look as gray. Again, some of that's going to depend on how much light you have coming in the room, how noticeable it is. But there is a really good contrast ratio with a native 6,000 to 1 contrast ratio, which to the average person, who knows what that number means. But overall, I found that the dark scenes look nice and the black levels look good. Now, some of the other specs, because we got to cover a few of the specs. We talked about brightness. This is a 4K projector up to 60 hertz or 60 frames per second. For gaming, you have a fast response time at 1 millisecond. You can play in 4K at that 60 frames per second, or for the competitive fast-paced games, you could play at 1080p with 240 hertz or 240 frames per second. The projector does have HDR support, so it can do HDR10, HDR10 Plus. It does Dolby Vision. It has IMAX Enhanced and Filmmaker Mode. Filmmaker Mode matches the frame rate and the look of how the movie was made. So if it's 24 frames per second and has more motion blur in it, like a movie would at the theater, it will match that. Now, to really take advantage of these things, like I mentioned earlier, it really kind of comes down to the screen you're using. If you're in a dark space, you can go with the white screens, and that's going to give you a great movie theater experience. But if you're in a bright room, the light projecting screens actually increase the intensity because they provide a gain. So the light hitting it bounces back brighter than what was actually hitting it. So you definitely want to consider that if you're going to get a projector. But even with one of those light rejecting screens, they're meant to take care of downlight and light from the side. So if you have a window or something right behind you, now the light is competing with the projector. Next, let's talk about audio. Ultimately, for that movie experience, whether you get a regular TV or you get this, a surround sound system's the ultimate way to go. So you could hear it all around you. But with this, I was actually surprised about the speakers built in. Since I didn't want to move my HomePods and didn't want to reconfigure everything because of how I had this set up, I just used the internal speakers. And I was surprised the volume it got, and how balanced it was. It wasn't like all tinny. It had enough low end that since I've had this thing, I've just been watching TV using the internal speakers. And I feel like the sound coming out of them is just as good as any TV that I've used recently. My OLED TV doesn't have better speakers than this. So I was pleasantly surprised with that. Now, when it comes to the smart side of things, it has Google TV built in, so you can connect all the different apps, that download the apps you want and connect your services. And there's also a free section, so you can watch free TV. There's also Gemini for TV, which allows you to make requests for shows, movies, apps, and even smart home control. This also has Apple HomeKit support, so you can pair it with Apple Home and be able to change inputs and stuff through that. So if you do write automations that set the light, you can have it Apple Home change it to the right input for whatever you're doing, which is pretty cool. There is also AirPlay support. So if you do want to use an Apple device and just send video wirelessly to it, you can do that. Overall, in using it, my experience has been great. And I think some of that, even with limitations of a projector, it gives me that movie theater experience. But it's still just as enjoyable watching regular TV on it. Like I said, I've replaced a 75-inch, a regular TV, with a projector about 9 months ago. And it's been our go-to. We love the size of it. And I'm tempted to get a bigger screen and go even larger. But anyways, definitely think about, when it comes to a projector, what you're looking for. I like the ultra short throw. I was good with the short throw, but I couldn't leave it mounted on the table it was on, so I had to mount it on the ceiling. With the ultra short throw, you just get the right piece of furniture, and you have to think about your distance away. Like, I know I need to be 15 inches away and about 15 inches below the screen, and then it's good to go. I like that the ultra short throw is easier for me to run other things into it. The other weekend, my family wanted to play some Mario Kart on the short throw projector, and I had to run an HDMI down from the ceiling and dangle it down, and so that they could temporarily play. So, I like something closer to a TV that's near an entertainment center for plugging things in. At the end of the day, I would say this projector is great for those who want a large TV experience without paying the cost or having the hassle of putting a huge TV in your house and on the wall. It's also good for those who want that temporary movie experience. If we wanted to, we could leave our 75-inch TV up and then watch that, and then use the floor rising screen when we want the movie theater experience, and then just have it go down and we're back to a regular TV. Or if you don't want to see a TV on the wall, you can just have a blank wall. Put a bunch of art on there, family photos, whatever the case, and bring it up when you want to watch something. But anyways, if you want to learn more about this, you can check it out using the link in the description. Again, if you pre-order, because this is a Kickstarter now, you can save up to $2,500 off, which definitely brings this down to the price of much smaller TVs. If you made it this far and you haven't, please consider subscribing. Check out future videos. Also, if you can't, give this one a thumbs up, a like. It definitely helps the channel out. Thank you for watching. Bye.